Occurred, the 5th of June 2023, 1751. Location, Franklin. In shape, changing duration, 2 minutes. Characteristics. There was an aura or haze around the object. It started like a ship looking, then changed into a round craft. Was mowing yard. Looked up a scene. It called my daughter outside. We watched it change shapes.
Occurred, April 17, 2004, 12:26. Location, Edinburgh. Near. In shape, unknown duration. Was driving. Unusual black craft near Edinburgh. It was around 12:30 in the afternoon as I was heading back to Indianapolis. As I was driving north on I-65, I saw a black and shiny aircraft off the side of the freeway. It held an altitude of about 800 to 1000. At first, I thought it was to be a helicopter because the way it was shaped, but I noticed no propeller of any kind. It also amazed me as it turned sideways. As it turned, it looked two-dimensional, and then into a bright star for a split second after. I don't think the bright shine on the craft came from the sun because the light seemed to be emitting very brightly than that of a reflection. After noticing the craft fade away in the sky, I continued driving away. NUFORC note, date is approximate. Witness elects to remain totally anonymous.
Occurred, December 24, 2008, 12 o'clock. Location, Edinburgh. In shape, duration, 20 minutes. 4 lights that separated and spun around. Seen 4 bright lights that followed us down the road, then stayed outside our house for another 10 minutes after we got home. The lights would all come together and then spread out, spin around 4 or 5 times, and then join back together in the center, then spread out again and spin over and over again the whole time. Occurred, the 2nd of July 1999, 21:30. Location, Greenwood. In shape, disk duration, 3 seconds. Characteristics. There were lights on the object. There were aircraft in the vicinity or aircraft chasing the object while watching an aircraft pass over. Directly behind the tail and underneath the aircraft I witnessed a round, disc-shaped object. With very faint lighting which I would compare to a jellyfish design.
Occurred, the 10th of April 2005, 21:40. Location, Greenwood. In shape, triangle duration, 1 minute. Characteristics. There were lights on the object on April 10, 2005 at approximately 9:40 p.m. I saw a black triangle with lights on each point move to the south. I was sitting on the deck outside enjoying the pleasant evening and looking for meteors. I was looking up at the sky for about 20 minutes when I noticed a massive black triangle moving to the south. On each point there were lights. It made no sound. I'm not sure how far above it was flying. NUFORC note. Witness elects to remain totally anonymous.
Occurred, March 31, 2006, 1 o'clock. Location, Greenwood. In shape, triangle duration, 15 to 20 minute. Characteristics. There were lights on the object. There were electrical or magnetic effects. Triangle-shaped object. Driving home saw a triangle-type object near my neighborhood. Moved slowly then vanished. 3 lights. It was not a plane due to my knowledge when I was in the military. Size of a 757. Very large. Green and blue lights. Flying well below what it's supposed to. When my roommates woke up the next morning, found a light on in their room. It was a touch lamp. Unknown if this object caused it to turn on. NUFORC note. Witness elects to remain totally anonymous. Provides no contact information.
Occurred, March 31, 2006, 1:10. Location, Greenwood. In shape, triangle duration, 20 minutes. Characteristics. There were lights on the object. Triangle object. Was driving down the road and saw this object just floating in over the field, just hovering there. Got out my car and watched it. It had a lighted dome and this object was the size of 5 or 6,747 s, not the wingspan. I watched it for 20 minutes and observed it do a 360-degree turn, and it disappeared in a matter of seconds in a clear night sky. Note: the object was dark in color. This was not a plane. There were no witnesses. This was 1 a.m. in the morning.
Occurred, the 7th of May 2007, 22:37. Location, Greenwood. In shape, light duration, 2 minutes. Characteristics, there were lights on the object, 5 orange lights moving slowly, then faster, in somewhat of a formation for about 2 to 3 minutes. I was traveling east on US 31 in Greenwood, Indiana on July 5th, at approximately 22:37 and saw 2 lights in the sky about 1 mile up, heading east to west, side by side. Their color was light orange, about the size of a small star, moving slowly. I watched them for about 30 seconds and pulled into a parking lot next to US 31. I then got out of my car, grabbed my camera, and by the time I had it turned on, they were gone. I got back into my car about to leave, and saw another one moving the same direction, same speed. So I got out again, got my camera, pointed it in the area of the light, and it was gone, moving a little faster now. I waiting a few seconds, and saw another one, moving the same direction, and speed. This time I got it on video for about 10 seconds, and it faded away. I started to get back into my car, and then a 5th object came into view, heading the same direction, but a little faster. I was not able to get this one on video, too fast. The last 3 objects were in a single file line, about a mile behind each other. The first 2 were very close together, and side by side. All were the same color, and sort of flickering, but not flashing. They were no more than a few miles from where I was standing. I am 47 years old, and was out doing surveillance for a client that night, so I did have a couple cameras with me. I do not drink, or do drugs, and I don't know what it was that I saw, but it did not look like normal aircraft. The footage is a little shaky at one point, but there are a few seconds that were fairly clear, and still.
Occurred, January 22, 2008, 1908. Location, Greenwood. In shape, fireball duration, 5 to 10 seconds. Characteristics, there were lights on the object, string of orange lights appeared in southern sky. At about 7:10 p.m. my wife, my daughter, and I were southbound on US Highway 31 approaching Smith Valley Road. To our 2 o'clock low at first appeared 1 orange light, then another, then 3 or 4 more. All the lights seemed to be connected in that as the first one we saw appear, disappeared. They all traveled in apparent trajectory of about 45 degrees. They moved in a downward direction along this path. We thought at first it may have been fireworks. The angle was wrong. The light was different. And when they flashed, they seemed to not sparkle like fireworks. The night sky was clear. The moon was full yesterday. It was about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. We cannot believe we actually saw this. All 3 lanes of the highway were occupied. We are not the only ones who saw this. We wonder who else may report it though. Being in this kind of shock is pretty exciting. Ironically, tonight when I came home I switched on National Geographic only to see Peter Jennings reporting on UFOs.
Occurred, March 13, 2008, 0:58. Location, Greenwood. In shape, cigar duration, about 2 seconds. Characteristics, there were lights on the object. There was an aura or haze around the object. Strange object at high rate of speed over Indiana sky. Approximately 12:58 a.m. I was outside smoking a cigarette when I observed an object moving at an extremely high rate of speed, moving in a northwest direction. The object looked in the night sky to be cigar-shaped with 2 distinct lights on opposite ends with a bit of a haze or blur surrounding it. The lights seemed to be a light shade of red, almost pink. I observed it for only about 2 to 3 seconds before it was gone. It was moving on a straight path. I do not believe in UFOs, but I know what I saw was not a meteor, nor was it like any aircraft I have ever seen. I don't know what to think. I've never seen anything like that before.
Occurred, June 16, 2008, 21:30. Location, Greenwood. In shape, sphere duration, few min. Characteristics, there were lights on the object. The object changed color, 5 bright lights vanishing and reappearing, moving different directions. June 16 at 9:30 p.m. I was looking out of the window from the 2nd floor of my house. I was looking down at the pond when something caught my attention from the corner of my eye. It was a very large, brilliant light. This light was moving slow, then stopped. 3 other lights appeared behind it out of nowhere. They looked like they were in a line formation. The lights would then disappear and reappear scattered but close together. They would move all directions, up, down, left and right, then hover but not all together. They had no formation at this time. I then saw another light appear way up in the sky above the others. It then slowly moved down to the others. This maybe lasted a couple minutes.
I then thought to get my video camera.
I ran inside my house, got my camcorder, then started videotaping. I only got 20 seconds of video, then they all vanished into thin air, but I caught 3 on film just blinking out. Before I started videotaping, I counted 5 of these things together. I don't know if you would call these things star-like or spheres. At times they looked like both. They seemed to be hovering and moving over a farm field area from what it looked like. My friend witnessed these too. He lives a half-mile away from me. I don't know what these things are, and I don't know what's going on around here in this Greenwood area. This is the 5th strange sighting I have had since 2005.